There comes a moment in each of our lives when the invisible forces of the universe seem to ask us, did you learn the lesson? Did you pass the test? It's not an exam we sit for in a classroom, and there are no formal questions handed out. Instead, the test comes disguised in the fabric of your everyday experiences through trials, moments of doubt, or unexpected challenges. The real question is, how do you know if you've passed? Let us begin with this truth. Life is a reflection of your inner world. The tests you face are not external, they are reflections of your state of consciousness. And when you have risen in consciousness, the world must conform to that new level. So, have you passed? The first sign is inner peace. Inner peace is not merely the absence of external conflict or the fleeting calm that comes from a quiet moment. It is an enduring state of being that remains unshaken regardless of the circumstances surrounding you. It is the ultimate mark of spiritual growth and alignment with higher principles. To achieve inner peace in the midst of chaos is to master one of the most profound tests. Life offers the test of transcending the illusion that external situations have power over your internal state. Consider the many situations where chaos seems to dominate: an unexpected financial crisis, the sudden loss of a loved one, a relationship falling apart, or even the day-to-day frustrations that arise from work or social interactions. In these moments, most people are pulled into the storm. They feel anxious, angry, or afraid because they believe that what is happening outside of them is dictating their emotional response. However, the truth is that no external situation has the power to disturb your peace unless you grant it that power. Inner peace comes when you realize that all the noise, all the commotion of the world is just that noise. It has no real authority over your internal world unless you allow it. The storm may rage, but if you have developed inner peace, you stand firm, unaffected by the winds of change or the waves of uncertainty. This does not mean that you become indifferent to life's challenges or that you ignore your responsibilities. Rather, it means that you approach each moment with a sense of calm confidence, knowing that your peace is rooted in something far deeper than the ever-changing world around you. This level of peace is evidence that you have begun to align with the higher principles that govern reality. You have moved beyond the illusion that your well-being is dependent on external conditions. Most people are conditioned to believe that peace comes from having everything in order when the bills are paid, when relationships are harmonious, when the job is stable. But what happens when those things are disrupted? For many, peace vanishes as quickly as the situation changes. They have unknowingly placed their sense of calm in the hands of forces they cannot control. The secret to true inner peace lies in understanding that your sense of well-being is an inside job. It is not dependent on external conditions being favorable. In fact, inner peace grows strongest in adversity, because it is in those moments of chaos that you are called to prove to yourself that nothing outside of you can disturb the tranquility that resides within. You stop being a reactor to the world and become a creator of your experience. You recognize that the world is not something that happens to you, it is something that reflects your inner state. If peace is within you, the chaos around you loses its power. This inner calm is not a passive state, nor is it something that can be faked. It is born from a deep understanding of who you are and your relationship to the universe. When you know that you are more than your physical body, more than your thoughts or emotions, you begin to see that the external world is merely a mirror. It reflects your state of consciousness. The more you cultivate peace within, the more the outer world will begin to reflect that peace back to you. However, cultivating this peace requires practice. It is not something that happens overnight, nor is it something that you can achieve simply by wishing for it. It requires a commitment to observing your thoughts and emotions and making a conscious choice not to be ruled by them. When chaos arises, it is an opportunity to practice detachment, to observe what is happening without becoming emotionally entangled in it. You begin to see challenges not as threats but as opportunities to deepen your peace. Detachment does not mean apathy. It means you can engage with life fully, respond to situations appropriately, and handle your responsibilities, all while maintaining your inner calm. You do not become numb to life's challenges. Instead, you approach them with a sense of clarity and centeredness. You understand that while you may not be able to control everything that happens, you can always control how you respond. And it is in that response that your power lies. When you experience this level of peace, it is unmistakable. You feel grounded, present, and connected to something larger than yourself. The chaos around you may persist, but you remain unmoved. You begin to trust the process of life, knowing that everything is unfolding exactly as it should, even if it doesn't make sense in the moment. This trust is a key component of inner peace. It is the recognition that there is a higher order at play, and you are a part of that order. You don't need to control every outcome, because you trust that the universe is always working for your highest good. The more you align with this truth, the less the external world can shake you. People may come and go, situations may rise and fall, but your inner peace remains a constant. It is the evidence that you have passed the universal test of transcending the illusion of external power. You have recognized that true peace is an inside job, and once it is established within you, nothing in the outside world can disturb it. Detachment from outcomes is the next crucial sign that you've passed the universal test. To be detached does not mean you no longer care about what happens in life. Rather, it signifies a profound shift in how you relate to the unfolding of events. You begin to understand that your value, happiness, or sense of peace is not dependent on specific outcomes. Instead, you trust that everything is working out in perfect alignment with the greater plan, even if it doesn't appear so in the moment. This trust allows you to let go of the need to control or manipulate every aspect of your life. Many of us are conditioned to believe that achieving a certain goal, acquiring a particular object, or securing a specific outcome is the key to our fulfillment. We fixate on how things should turn out, and when they don't, we feel disappointed, frustrated, or even lost. This attachment to results is based on the illusion that happiness is something that exists in the future, tied to a specific condition. But what happens when that condition is met, and the satisfaction is only temporary? The cycle of seeking, striving, and desiring begins again, and we find ourselves chasing an endless mirage. True detachment from outcomes breaks this cycle. It is the realization that happiness and fulfillment are not found in the acquisition of things or the achievement of goals, but in the present moment, in the act of being. When you are detached, you understand that while you can set intentions, make plans, and take action, the final result is out of your hands. You do what you can, but you leave the rest to the universe. This is not an attitude of resignation, but one of deep trust, a trust that what is meant for you will come to you, and what is not will fall away, and either way, you are whole. Detachment is not about giving up on your dreams or ceasing to desire a better life. It is about aligning yourself with a higher perspective. You can still have preferences, desires, and goals, but they are no longer the source of your identity or happiness. You are free from the need for them to materialize in a specific way or timeline. When you detach from the outcome, you shift your focus from the destination to the journey. Every step of the process becomes meaningful, and every moment becomes an opportunity for growth. This mindset of detachment transforms how you respond to challenges and setbacks. When things don't go as planned, you don't crumble under the weight of disappointment. Instead, you recognize that there may be a higher reason behind the delay or redirection. You stop seeing obstacles as failures and start viewing them as opportunities for realignment. This is because when you are detached from the outcome, your sense of self is no longer tied to external circumstances. You are grounded in the understanding that your worth is intrinsic, and no external achievement or failure can add to or take away from that worth. Living in a state of detachment also allows you to experience greater joy and fulfillment in the present. Instead of constantly waiting for a future moment to bring you happiness, you find contentment in the here and now. You stop postponing your joy to a later date when a particular goal is achieved. You realize that the only true moment is the present, and it is in this moment that life is happening. This realization brings a deep sense of freedom, because you no longer feel pressure to reach a certain point in order to feel complete. You already are complete. Furthermore, detachment leads to greater creativity and flexibility. When you are no longer rigidly attached to one particular outcome, you become open to the endless possibilities the universe may have in store for you. You begin to understand that sometimes what you think you want is limited by your current perspective, and the universe may have something far greater planned for you. Detachment allows you to remain open to these possibilities, embracing change rather than resisting it. You begin to flow with life rather than fighting against it, trusting that whatever comes your way is for your highest good. This state of flow, born from detachment, enhances your connection with the universe. You no longer feel the need to force things to happen, because you trust that everything is unfolding in divine timing. This trust is a powerful form of alignment, as it signals to the universe that you are in harmony with the natural order of things. The more you let go, the more the universe responds by bringing you what is in your highest interest. The irony is that by letting go of the need for specific outcomes, you often find that things fall into place more effortlessly than you ever imagined. In moments of uncertainty or doubt, detachment becomes your anchor. You know that regardless of how things appear on the surface, you are exactly where you need to be. This faith in the process transcends any temporary discomfort or confusion. Detachment does not mean you never feel emotions or experience desires. It means that your emotions and desires no longer control you. You acknowledge them, but you are not defined by them. You can experience disappointment without it disrupting your inner peace, and you can desire something without being consumed by the fear of not obtaining it. When you live in detachment, you step into your true power. You recognize that while you may not have control over every outcome, you do have control over your inner state. You understand that life is a co-created process where your thoughts, beliefs, and actions play a role, but the final outcome is orchestrated by a higher intelligence. By detaching from specific results, you allow this intelligence to work through you, bringing you experiences that align with your highest potential. This is the ultimate freedom, and it is the hallmark of having passed the universal test. The rise of heightened intuition is another powerful indicator that you've passed the universal test. Intuition is that subtle, inner voice that seems to guide you effortlessly through life's complexities. It doesn't shout, nor does it argue. Instead, it speaks softly, yet with a certainty that transcends logic or reason. When you have passed the test, this inner knowing becomes more than just an occasional whisper. It evolves into a clear, reliable guide that shapes your decisions and actions in profound ways. Many people spend their lives disconnected from their intuition. They rely on external sources for direction, other people's opinions, societal expectations, or purely analytical reasoning. They weigh options, create pros and cons lists, and seek validation from the outside world. And while logic and reason certainly have their place, they often fail to account for the subtler, more nuanced aspects of life that can't be captured by rational thought alone. Intuition, however, fills in these gaps, offering insights that come from a deeper place within a place that is connected to the broader intelligence of the universe. When you pass the universal test, your intuition begins to take center stage in your life. You find that you no longer need to second-guess yourself or seek endless advice from others. Instead, there's a deep internal confidence that arises from listening to that still, small voice within. It's not about knowing every detail of how things will unfold, but about trusting the direction in which you're being led. This trust comes from the realization that intuition is your direct line to the higher order of the universe. It's the voice of your deeper self, which is always connected to the divine flow. As you become more attuned to your intuition, you'll notice that decision-making becomes smoother. There's less internal conflict or overthinking because you've learned to listen to what feels right, rather than what looks right on paper. Intuition cuts through the noise of doubt and fear, leading you to take the steps that are in alignment with your highest good. It doesn't always make sense to the rational mind, but it doesn't need to. Intuition operates on a higher frequency of understanding, one that sees beyond the surface and taps into the larger picture that you, with your limited perspective, might not yet grasp. One of the ways intuition shows up after you've passed the Arjuna test is through a sense of clarity. You might wake up with the answer to a problem you've been wrestling with, or you might get a sudden flash of insight while doing something mundane, like washing dishes or walking in nature. This clarity often feels like a revelation, but in reality it's simply your intuition breaking through the mental clutter that usually clouds your awareness. When you trust this clarity and act upon it, you'll find that life unfolds in ways that are often more harmonious and beneficial than if you had relied solely on logic. Moreover, intuition also manifests through feelings, those gut instincts that tell you whether something is right or wrong. Have you ever walked into a room and immediately felt either at ease or uncomfortable? Or met someone and instantly sensed their true intentions even before they spoke? These are intuitive feelings, and they become sharper when you pass the universal test. You begin to trust your body's signals as much as you trust your mind, understanding that the body often picks up on subtle energies that the conscious mind may miss. Learning to tune into these signals gives you an edge in navigating the world with greater ease and grace. Heightened intuition also brings with it a sense of synchronicity, those moments when life seems to arrange itself in perfect harmony. You think of someone and they call you moments later. You're contemplating a new career and a job opportunity lands in your lap. These synchronicities are not coincidences, they are the universe responding to your intuitive alignment. When you follow your inner guidance, you begin to move in sync with the flow of life, and life responds by delivering exactly what you need, often at just the right moment. The more you trust your intuition, the more these synchronicities become a regular part of your experience. But intuition doesn't only guide you toward what feels good or easy. Sometimes it nudges you in directions that seem difficult or uncomfortable. It might tell you to leave a job that no longer serves you, even if it offers financial security. It might encourage you to end a relationship that is no longer in alignment with your highest self, even though you're afraid of being alone. These intuitive nudges are part of the universal test, challenging you to trust that what lies beyond the discomfort is a greater version of yourself. Passing the test means you no longer resist these inner promptings out of fear or doubt. You follow them because you know they are leading you toward your true path. Another important aspect of heightened intuition is that it helps you see beyond appearances. You begin to recognize that not everything is as it seems on the surface. A situation that looks like a setback might actually be a blessing in disguise. A person who seems difficult might be offering you a valuable lesson. Intuition helps you perceive the deeper layers of reality, where meaning and purpose reside. It allows you to navigate life with a sense of faith and understanding, even when things don't immediately make sense. The more you rely on your intuition, the more you realize that it is not separate from you. It is an extension of your higher self. It is always available, always ready to guide you, but it requires quieting the mind and trusting the process. When you pass the universal test, you stop doubting your inner wisdom. You begin to understand that the universe is always communicating with you, offering guidance through your intuitive feelings, insights, and synchronicities. The challenge is not whether the guidance is available, it's whether you are open to receiving it. In this heightened state of awareness, you begin to see that intuition is one of your greatest allies. It leads you, protects you, and helps you stay aligned with your highest path. You no longer feel lost or unsure of your direction, because you trust that your inner guidance will always show you the way, even if the road ahead is not fully clear. And with that trust comes a profound sense of freedom from the need to control every outcome, freedom from fear, and freedom to embrace life with an open heart. Another sign that you've passed the universal test is the sense of purpose that emerges in your life. This purpose is not necessarily tied to a specific career or external achievement. Rather, it is a deep inner knowing that your life has meaning, that your existence is part of something much greater. When you pass the universal test, you no longer wander aimlessly or feel lost in the chaos of day-to-day living. Instead, you experience a clarity about why you are here and what you are meant to contribute to the world. This sense of purpose is not driven by the ego's desires for recognition, wealth, or status. It is born from a deeper place, a place where you are aligned with your true self. You begin to realize that your purpose is not something you need to find outside of yourself. It's something you discover within, something that has been with you all along, waiting for you to recognize it. As you become more attuned to this inner calling, you feel drawn to activities, people, and experiences that are in alignment with your soul's journey. There's a sense of flow, a sense of being in the right place at the right time, doing what you are meant to do. Purpose brings with it a deep satisfaction that goes beyond material success or external validation. It's not about ticking off accomplishments on a checklist, it's about feeling fulfilled on a soul level. When you wake up each morning with a sense of excitement, knowing that what you are doing matters, that it's contributing to something larger than yourself, you know that you are living in alignment with your purpose. This doesn't mean that every day is easy or that you won't face challenges. But even in the difficult moments, there's an underlying sense of meaning that keeps you going. Living with purpose also brings a sense of resilience. When you know why you're here, you are better equipped to handle life's setbacks. Challenges become opportunities to grow and evolve, rather than reasons to give up. You no longer feel as though you're at the mercy of life's random events. Instead, you see every experience, whether pleasant or painful, as part of a larger plan that is unfolding for your highest good. You trust that everything is happening for a reason, even if that reason is not immediately clear. One of the key shifts that occurs when you've passed the universal test is that your focus shifts from self-centered goals to a more service-oriented perspective. This doesn't mean you neglect your own needs or desires, but rather that your purpose begins to include a desire to uplift and support others. You start to see how your unique gifts and talents can be used to make a positive impact on the world. Whether it's through your work, your relationships, or even the small, everyday interactions you have with others, you begin to realize that your life is part of a greater tapestry, and your role is to contribute to the collective good. This sense of purpose doesn't always come with a clear roadmap. You may not know all the details of how your purpose will unfold, and that's okay. What matters is that you feel guided by an inner knowing, a sense that you are on the right path, even if you can't see the destination just yet. Purpose is less about having all the answers and more about trusting the process. You understand that life is an ongoing journey of discovery, and as long as you stay true to your inner calling, the details will reveal themselves in time. When you live with purpose, your actions become intentional. You are no longer simply reacting to life's circumstances, you are consciously creating your reality in alignment with your higher self. You begin to make decisions based on what feels right for your soul, rather than what society or others expect of you. This authenticity attracts new opportunities, relationships, and experiences that are in harmony with your purpose. You no longer feel the need to force things to happen, because you trust that what is meant for you will come to you naturally. There is also a deep sense of fulfillment that comes from knowing that your purpose is unique to you. You stop comparing yourself to others or measuring your success by external standards. You realize that your journey is yours alone, and no one else's path can dictate your own. This realization brings a sense of liberation, as you let go of the need to conform to societal expectations. You become free to express yourself fully, to live authentically, and to pursue the things that truly light you up. Living with purpose also means that you are no longer afraid of failure. You understand that failure is not an endpoint, but a stepping stone on the path to growth. When you are aligned with your purpose, even setbacks and challenges become part of the journey, helping you refine your vision and deepen your understanding of yourself. You stop seeing failure as something to be feared, and instead embrace it as a necessary part of your evolution. This mindset shift allows you to take risks, follow your heart, and pursue your dreams without the crippling fear of what might go wrong. Ultimately, purpose gives your life direction and meaning. It provides a framework through which you can make decisions, set goals, and navigate the inevitable ups and downs of life. When you have passed the universal test, this sense of purpose becomes your guiding star. It keeps you grounded even when the world around you is in chaos. It gives you a reason to keep going even when the path ahead seems unclear. And most importantly, it fills you with a deep sense of fulfillment, knowing that you are living in alignment with your highest self. A heightened sense of gratitude is another clear sign that you've passed the universal test. Gratitude is more than just an occasional thankfulness for the good things in life. It becomes a foundational way of being, a lens through which you see and experience the world. When you have passed the universal test, gratitude arises naturally, effortlessly, and it permeates every aspect of your life. You begin to appreciate not only the obvious blessings, but also the challenges, setbacks, and lessons, knowing that everything is contributing to your growth and evolution. Gratitude shifts your perspective in a profound way. Instead of focusing on what you lack, you begin to focus on what you already have. You realize that abundance is not something you chase, but something you recognize in the present moment. This doesn't mean that you stop striving for more, but your striving is no longer from a place of lack or fear. It comes from a place of already feeling full, already feeling blessed, and from that fullness you naturally attract more into your life. Gratitude creates a vibration of abundance, and when you live in that frequency, more abundance flows effortlessly into your experience. One of the transformative aspects of gratitude is that it helps you see the hidden gifts in difficult situations. When you pass the universal test, you begin to understand that even the things that seem unpleasant or painful are part of a larger plan for your development. You start to ask yourself, what is this experience teaching me? Instead of why is this happening to me? This shift in perspective allows you to find gratitude in all circumstances, even in the midst of hardship. You no longer resist life's challenges. Instead, you embrace them with an open heart, knowing that they are refining you and bringing you closer to your highest self. Gratitude also deepens your connection to the present moment. Often people live in a state of wanting something to change, improve, or happen. This constant state of desire keeps them in the future, always looking for fulfillment in the next achievement or acquisition. But when you cultivate gratitude, you become anchored in the now. You stop waiting for some future event to bring you happiness and instead start to appreciate the beauty and richness of the present moment. Whether it's the simple pleasure of a morning sunrise, a conversation with a friend, or the quiet stillness of your own company, you begin to realize that life is happening right now, and there is so much to be grateful for in each passing moment. Gratitude also transforms your relationships. When you are truly grateful, you stop taking the people in your life for granted. You begin to see them as gifts, appreciating them not for what they do for you, but for who they are. This deep appreciation fosters stronger, more meaningful connections because it comes from a place of genuine love and recognition. You start to express your gratitude more freely, letting people know how much they mean to you and how they have positively impacted your life. This expression of gratitude strengthens bonds and creates a ripple effect, encouraging others to cultivate gratitude in their own lives. Another profound effect of gratitude is that it increases your resilience. Life will always have its ups and downs, but when you are rooted in gratitude, you find it easier to bounce back from setbacks. You develop a perspective that allows you to see even the most challenging situations as opportunities for growth. Instead of being consumed by negativity, you find yourself asking, "What can I learn from this? How is this making me stronger?" This mindset keeps you from getting stuck in feelings of victimhood or despair. Instead, you stay empowered, recognizing that everything in life is working for your benefit, even when it doesn't seem that way on the surface. Gratitude also fosters humility. You begin to understand that you are not entitled to anything in life, everything is a gift. This humility doesn't diminish your sense of self-worth, in fact, it enhances it. You stop expecting life to go a certain way or people to behave in certain ways, and you start to appreciate things as they are. This sense of humility opens your heart to receive more because you are no longer resistant to what is. You become a vessel through which life can flow more freely, and in that openness you attract even more to be grateful for. In addition to enhancing your inner state, gratitude has a tangible effect on your outer world. When you live in a state of gratitude, you attract more positive experiences and opportunities. This is because gratitude is a powerful energetic force. The more grateful you are, the more the universe responds by giving you more things to be grateful for. It's a self-perpetuating cycle. Gratitude begets abundance, and abundance begets more gratitude. This is the natural law of attraction in action, and when you align yourself with this law, life begins to unfold in ways that seem almost magical. Moreover, gratitude deepens your spiritual connection. When you recognize that everything in your life, from the smallest blessing to the greatest challenge, is part of a divine plan, you begin to feel a sense of awe and reverence for the intelligence that orchestrates it all. You feel connected to something greater than yourself, and this connection brings a profound sense of peace. You stop feeling like you're alone in the world, struggling to make things happen, and instead realize that you are being supported, guided, and blessed at every step. This awareness fosters a deep sense of trust in the universe, which further amplifies your gratitude. As gratitude becomes more central to your life, it also changes how you approach your goals and dreams. Instead of striving out of a sense of lack or inadequacy, you begin to pursue your desires from a place of fullness. You set intentions, not because you need them to be happy, but because you are excited to expand and explore more of life's possibilities. This shift makes the journey toward your goals much more joyful, as you are no longer driven by a sense of urgency or desperation. You trust that everything will come to you in perfect timing, and in the meantime you are grateful for the journey itself. Lastly, gratitude makes you more generous. When you realize how blessed you are, you naturally want to share those blessings with others. You stop hoarding your time, energy, or resources, and instead you give freely, knowing that there is always more where that came from. This generosity further enhances your sense of abundance, because the more you give, the more you receive. And with each act of giving, your gratitude deepens, creating a beautiful cycle of giving and receiving that elevates not only your life, but the lives of those around you. This profound sense of gratitude marks a key milestone in your spiritual evolution. It shows that you have moved beyond the ego's constant need for more, and have stepped into a state of appreciation for what is. You've learned to see the beauty and perfection in every moment, every experience, and every person who crosses your path. This is the essence of having passed the universal test, as gratitude connects you to the flow of life in its most harmonious, abundant, and fulfilling form. In passing the universal test, you have entered a state of alignment with the deepest truths of life. This journey is not about external achievements or validations, but an inner transformation that reshapes how you perceive yourself and the world. Each sign, whether it's inner peace, heightened intuition, a sense of purpose, profound gratitude, or resilience through challenges, reveals that you've tapped into the flow of the universe. You are no longer reacting to life instead, you are co-creating with it, allowing divine wisdom to guide your steps. This new way of being brings freedom and fulfillment, as you understand that the power to shape your reality lies within you. There is no need to seek approval or fear failure. Everything is unfolding in perfect order, and you can trust the process because you are in harmony with the higher laws that govern existence. Now, life becomes less about striving and more about allowing, less about controlling and more about trusting. You live in a state of gratitude, peace, and purpose, knowing that you are exactly where you need to be, and that the universe is always supporting your growth every step of the way. Thank you.